And that is that with the longest wipe in Escape from Tarkov history. The servers just went down, well, at least a couple hours they did, while the patch notes went up, and I will be leaving the links to both the base game as well as the arena patch notes in the description so that you can check them out line by line for yourselves. However, what I'm going to be doing is a bit of a TLDR on it. The servers should be back up around 10 a.m. Eastern, and that is for both games now, as BSG decided to delay arena, so it will release the same time as the base game. No more head start. They will both become available around 10 a.m. as long as everything goes according to plan. I will be live on Twitch as well as here on YouTube around 9 a.m. If the servers take longer, oh well, I'll just stay live. I'll probably play like Delta Force or maybe a bit of War Thunder or something. I've been wanting to play War Thunder. Either way, we'll figure something out, but I'll be live here. But I digress. This is what we got for the pretty interesting new patch notes here. First things first, the factory remake seems about as cool as you can ask in text form. They use the word maintained a lot, so it seems like it won't be too different apart from the catwalks and underground areas, potentially the spawns. They also switched up the loot a bit, so cool change for sure. Needed a facelift. We'll have to get some time in on the newish location to really get an idea for whether these were good changes or not. It seems like it's a positive change. It seems like it's going to be cool. The new boss, Partisan, you know, potato, tomato, tomato, is interesting to say the least. He will in fact hunt bad karma players, but what I didn't see coming is he does a lot more than that, because he will also hunt player scavs and apparently anybody, not just bad karma players. It seems like if you are not a bad karma player, you can possibly get in his way, and you will absolutely be able to come across his tripwires that he'll just leave laying around. When he is hunting his prey, he will try to get ahead of them and leave these tripwires around. Like I said, it's in the patch notes. You can read it for yourselves. He's doing some weird stuff. It's not like the other bosses. He's going to try and put these tripwires around. He's going to try, apparently, to lead players into the tripwires. The good news is, apparently, you will not lose karma for killing him if you end up coming across him and he doesn't have any bodyguards. He almost certainly will have boss level HP, so increased HP. He'll probably have God aim or something like that. For sure, definitely an Escape from Tarkov boss, and these tripwires are going to be a major threat, but at least it's an Escape from Tarkov boss that we can just shoot on sight. We're not going to need to worry about it, apparently, according to the patch notes. When it comes to specifics of what lowers or increases your karma, we have very little, and by very little, I mean nothing. There is no specifics given in the patch notes, so the best that we have to go off of is what Nikita said in the past, which was, if you stay in one place too long, potentially more if you're around the extract, it will go up. I gotta be honest, my notes are not completely up to date on this. I am forgetting if he mentioned something else. I think he mentioned something else, so take a look down in the comments. I'm sure somebody's going to be able to remind me about that. We did get word from Nikita in the past on a couple things that will increase your karma, which, while we're on that subject, what should the verbiage be here? If you increase your karma, your PMC karma with Partisan, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I guess we should just be specific. Increase your bad karma, increase good karma, something like that. We'll figure that out. But anyway, all we have to go off of is what Nikita has said in the past, which is something about staying in one place too long, and potentially if you're around a extract, it's not going to be good for you. We got nothing about killing your own faction members, but we were told here that in some cases, karma changes can be tracked by a distinctive sound notification. So be on the lookout for notifications when you do things deemed, get this, honorless behavior. According to Partisan's description / lore, that is who he hunts. Honorless, well, players who have honorless behavior, who partake in honorless behavior, who behave honorlessly, things like that. So again, if you come across him in your travels, which apparently are specifically forest type locations, they didn't say just woods or just shoreline, it just says forest type locations, you're good to eliminate him. Just watch your step. Speaking of watching your step, tripwires are here, and they can only be obtained through Jaeger after completing a specific quest with him. You cannot find them in raid or purchase them on the fleet. However, I imagine if you kill a player with one, you'll be able to loot them that way. Or even Partisan before he lays all of his out, if that's possible. They can only be placed on flat surfaces, so no doorways unless there's like ground for now, unless there's ground on the other side for now. It's got to be a flat ground. They will also be able to be shot, destroyed with shrapnel, or tripping them with, quote, physical objects such as players, bots, and items. So I guess we'll have a new job for the least liked friend in the group, or bring a blicky with you each raid. They do not explode immediately. There will be a fuse time delay based on the grenade used. Hopefully there's a little click or something when you step on it too. You can also disable them by hovering over them when you see them, and if you have a multi-tool, you can quickly disarm it, but one is not required. Bipods and weapon mounting are a thing, and they work exactly how they sound like they'll work. Really glad that they added it finally. There's a gear rack in the hideout now to make your jump John Wick gear up montage fantasy come true, so that's cool. The cultist circle is the center of the current drama because Unheard gets it instantly for free, and it's pretty damn powerful. We'll have to see what it requires in order to craft in your hideout and when you're going to be able to craft it. What this does is you can sacrifice, aka gamble, up to 5 items, and the cult will trade you items that equal the total, or surpass, or somewhat surpass the total. So the more you sacrifice, the better the rewards in theory. In practice, we'll have to wait and see. But apparently, if you surpass a hidden threshold, you have a 25% chance to receive a item that you need for a quest or a hideout upgrade. I was live when I was writing this script, and somebody in chat actually mentioned, so does that mean if you don't actually craft, let's say Medstation 3, does that mean you can actually farm lead X's with something like this? I'm going to assume they thought about that. We'll see. We'll see what's going on with that. On top of that, it's only a 25% chance that that can happen. I'm sure you're still going to get higher level stuff, and it's still a pretty solid chance. Again, we'll see. The value is also increased by the Sacred Amulet as well as your hideout skills. So yeah, they added a new loot box to the hideout. We'll see how good it is in a few hours, I'm sure. TLDR, it sounds like they made the AI in PvE a bit more realistic, as well as to a degree make them follow PMC factions and even a bit of karma. So there's a line here that says, it's not a guarantee, but there's a good chance that as a bear, if you come across an AI bear, they won't shoot you and possibly even be totally friendly to you, while the opposite will happen if it's a USEC. However, anything is possible. There's a lot going on there. It's gonna be interesting to see what people do in PvE. I haven't specifically purchased PvE myself yet, and I do not have Unheard. I just have Edge of Darkness. And on day 1 here, and probably for the first several days, I'm gonna be just playing Arena. So you guys might need to go to somebody else for your PvE news, or just do it yourselves. PvE should not have wiped. If you guys have played PvE and you're leveled up in PvE, you'll see it immediately. So let me know what you guys find. We got a bunch of new Pew. We got some Uzis, several editions of the Deagle that I didn't even know existed. But within those editions, there's a 357 version and a 50 AE version. Now that I think about it, they might even add the Beowulf eventually, which is the 50 AE AR-15, because Nikita said that he wanted that in the game way back in the day. But no Beowulf yet, and unless the Deagle was the secret gun, there may still be a surprise gun in there somewhere. So when the servers come back, keep an eye out and let me know if you guys see anything when it comes to surprise guns. But anyway, we also got the SR3M and a few variants of the gun of Rambo, the M60. Got a couple weapon model updates, some mixed improvements, as well as various other optimizations. This was a very long list, guys, and I'm still trying to do a TLDR here. We haven't even hit Arena yet, too, by the way. They always put a bunch of this stuff in here. Won't really notice or understand this stuff until we play a bit, but it's always good to see. I guess we got new gear as well coming, but nothing was specifically listed. They finally added optic variable zoom. Seems like all scopes that would need it have it, and you can use your scroll wheel to adjust it. You can also now select what grenade you want, just like mags or meds, by holding down G. They also added some cool changes to hotkey use and adjustments like holding down a key for a device to move through the options. They simplified setup and long road, aka they nerfed it, made it easier. They completely removed class 6 armor, plate carriers, plates, and helmet modifications from traders. They can only be found in raid now. All ammo with less than 42 pen can be on the flea, and they said here with some exceptions, and acted like they were going to list it but then didn't list it. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that since they were specific about everything less than 42 pen, the exceptions are probably going to be the exact opposite end of the spectrum. It's probably the super high flesh damage rounds that can't be found on the flea. We'll have to wait and see. They buffed the damage on 7.62x39, 5.45, and 9x21, while they slightly nerfed 5.56. They improved animations, improved some stuff about graphics, while adding FSR 3.0 support. They made no mention of the new Unity engine at all, or anything associated with any updates to Unity whatsoever. Some big sound changes too. There's a big list about it here, but I've read this way too many times before. We'll hear it for ourselves in a few hours, because I have to be honest, I have no idea what any of this shit means, and it may not even work correctly. So I hope for the best and keep my fingers crossed. The audio is just, I mean, most of you guys know it's been a roller coaster for Tarkov. Like I said, hope for the best, keep my fingers crossed. We'll see. There was some anti-cheat updates, which, if I'm being honest, I would not use any third-party software while playing Tarkov for the near future, because it sounds awfully like they're cranking down on that stuff. So again, based off of what they're saying here, I absolutely would not risk using any third-party software for anything associated with Escape from Tarkov for now. Better safe than sorry. Then last but very certainly not least, and I left the best for last on this one on purpose, they added map-to-map travel. So to be clear, there's no confirmation that this will be available instantly to everybody once the servers go live, but there will at some point be an event, and they do specifically call it an event, which Nikita did bring up in a recent Tarkov TV. I just think it's interesting that they added it into the patch notes. So I think it's got potential to be soon and or when the servers come up. We'll have to wait and see if they end up treating it like snow, like last patch, and then just like in a day or two, or maybe during drops. That would make sense if they did it during the drops campaign. There's something new, something interesting to increase the hype a bit. Oh, they're going from map to map. There's a new event going on. Maybe that's what's going to happen here. Exactly again, like they did with snow before. We'll have to wait and see. But it seems like this event, or in this event, you will be able to play a specific mode where the goal is to get to every map in one life. Each exit, or each vehicle exit, you will be able to drop gear off, and if you get to every map, you get an achievement. Now I think about it, it's probably not every vehicle. If there's a footpath, like if the map's connected and there's an actual footpath to go map to map, that's probably included as well. We'll have to wait and see. Now, apparently, after this event is complete, all transits will become available on all maps, presumably meaning you can, at any point in any raid, travel to a different location without going back to your hideout. Now, this sounds really cool, and I'm very confident that it'll play a sizable part in the story mode after release, but apart from the achievement, I don't really see the point here in doing this. But it's cool and new, and like I said, probably a good test for important stuff after release with the story mode. We'll see how it plays and how it adapts in the future. Now, all that was just the base game. There was also a massive arena update. I know the vast majority of you guys don't care about arena, and that is based off of a initially and partial impression that it's left on you from the game modes and the gameplay. Well, now, especially after this update, they went and flipped it on its head. I'm not kidding. At least apparently according to these patch notes, which seem pretty clear. There's now 2 game modes that are genuinely fun in my opinion, and that's the search and destroy mode, the bomb plant and defuse mode, while there is the free-for-all mode, both of which have been around for a little while now. I have a lot of fun playing solo with the free-for-all mode, personally, and it's probably what I'm going to be playing for the wipe day. So if you want to see that, come by the stream. I'll be live once the servers do. So those are here, but as of now, as of this update, there's no more tiers. There's just starter kits and pre-made kits that you can customize based off of leveling weapons and your PMC in arena. Everything is new here for gear, and it's all leveled and progressed seemingly how you would expect gear to level and progress in games like Battlefield or Call of Duty. In terms of reading these patch notes, at least. Again, haven't been able to play yet and won't be able to for several hours, but it does seem like it's that way. They're talking about leveling guns to unlock attachments, and the currency that you earn can be spent in the armory system for gear that will ultimately dictate a gear score of which places you in a certain matchmaking criteria, apparently. Like I said, they turned it on its head. Everything is different. Everything is really different here. Like I said, the tier system is gone. There's just the starter kits and these custom presets. Absolutely, if you were even a little bit interested before in arena, check it out, give it a try now. This is what I will be doing from the get-go, and it's a little confusing in text form, if I'm being honest. I've been misled before when things get this level of confusing with this much change and stuff, especially when there's translations involved, which there definitely are here. But there's enough here for me to know I should tell you guys to give it another shot. I'll be live here on YouTube. The VOD will go up in the VOD section when it's over, and same thing goes for Twitch. I don't know if I'll do like a full 24 hours or whatever, because I'm probably going to do 24 hours and stuff for the Twitch drops that's going to be coming up in a few days, but I'm definitely going to go for a long time. You guys will, like I said, you'll see the VOD. You'll probably see me around, and if you're in the Discord or on Twitch or on Twitter, you'll see posts about it. Otherwise, that is a pretty sizable patch with some interesting new stuff. Can't wait to check it out. I'm going to see if I can catch some Z's before the servers actually do go up. Streams link below. You can support by joining the Patreon. I'll link below. You guys know the drill from there. See you in a few hours. Good luck with the wipe. Otherwise, I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.